Coverage coming your way is presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Frank, we're going home to the home of golf, St. Andrews, the old course.
No better place for any level of game. For the beginner of the game or the greats of the game, this is the golf course they've all cherished to play.
Frank, this is one of the coolest opening tee shots in all of golf, isn't it?
It is. The whole golf course sits in front of you. Out of bounds on the right, and believe it or not, there's out of bounds on the left. That's the right side of the 18th hole. You'd think it's the widest fairway in the world, but many a player has stood on that first tee and whipped one out of bounds.
And you're teeing off with people watching from the street. Sometimes they're actually looking out of their hotel rooms and peering in.
Yeah, or simply walking across the fairway.
Frank, on the second shot here at this first hole, a player will get a good sense of the winds here and how they can play a role at the old course.
And they'll also get a good sense of exactly how punishing this golf course can be, and with such the smallest things. For example, that burn is only about 3 or 4 yards across, and yet it is punishing, to say the least.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Beautiful stroke right there. Finds the bottom of the cup with ease. Here we are now at the second. Always so important to try and establish a good round in these opening holes, Frank.
In the second hole, especially with a prevailing breeze and today's modern equipment, the odd player has actually driven this green, but you really see the tone of the golf course. The middle of the golf course is protected. There's a series of bunkers down there, but left is always the safe side of the golf course, because the best line to play your second shot from on the whole golf course is always the right side, and we see that here at the second.
Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green.
Should be safely on deck.
That is how it's done, right there. What an approach shot. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Not a real hard game, is it? Birdie to open. At the third hole now, Frank, it looks relatively easy, but you know there's some danger lurking somewhere out there on the old course.
There is. There's the pot bunkers down the right side. This is a tee where really you want to have an idea where that wind is coming from. If it's into your face, you might want to be a little cautious and go towards the middle of the golf course. But if it's behind you, well, then it's worth challenging that right side.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Just an incredible shot. That is a very makeable putt after a great approach. Well played. Frank, 2 is nice, but
3 is even better.
Well done. Another birdie, and now 3 under par. Frank, a much more difficult hole here at the fourth at the old course.
Yeah, that new championship tee has really made 4 a very hard par 4. 2 ways to play it. Down the right, that's a very, very narrow strip of fairway. Most will go to the left side, a little more conservative, but either way, tough second shot.
Wow, that is a monster drive down there, about 315 yards. See if they can let loose with a good one here from 160 yards. Second shot. This one has a chance to be close. Well, that's how it's done. The approach shot is within 10 feet and another good look. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Starting to fire on all cylinders. A couple of birdies in a row and now 4 under. Par 5s, this is where players look to make the move in a major championship. How does this 5th hole par 5 measure up, Frank?
Well, if you can avoid the bunkers, they're actually left and right, but especially that little group of 3 bunkers, then it sets up well. It'll be a blind second shot, but you try and guide your second shot between the 2 bunkers on the hill in front of you, which are called the spectacles.
Well, those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. Playing his second shot here at the par 5. And it makes the green in regulation. This would give him an eagle. And he has it, Frank.
I don't believe it.
Moving on to the par 4 6th hole here at the birthplace of golf. This hole shares a green actually with the 12th. How do you work your way around this hole, Frank?
Some sort of tee shot, 3 bunkers that look like they're in the left center of the fairway and a series of bunkers down the right. So somehow bisect those and then you set yourself up to a green with a false front.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing. Well, he's taking the right side out of play, Rich. It looks a little left.
Coming out of the rough, not able to control it the way he wants. Frank, how good was that just to get it on the green?
Well, from that shot there, you would have thought for sure that there was no chance he had of finding the green. That was some shot.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now, 7th hole here at the old course, Frank.
Ideal line, just hit your tee shot over the march stone. The bunker on the 11th green actually often comes into play, called the shell bunker. So anything a little bit right of that, but very difficult green for the approach shot coming up.
Excellent looking shot here. Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Playing it point to point. Fairway off the tee, fairway on the second shot, and now a really good angle to attack. Looking to keep it going here, Frank.
Yeah, another example of things just working as they should.
Superb shot.
Well, it's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
And getting ready for the putt. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Frank, now at the par 3 8th, and how challenging is this hole?
Well, it's called short on the scorecard, but massive green. The problem here is trying to hit it close. A lot of little subtle breaks and undulations in this green, and often you see long, long birdie putts here.
Just came over that one a bit, enough to tug it to the left, and plenty of work still to go. So they'll tap in. Pretty good stroke right there. Just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Well, you can see it there. Feels very good about what he's doing. That's a nice par putt. Stays at 6 under. Rounding out the opening 9 here at St. Andrews. And Frank, this par 4 features a couple of fairway bunkers that players will have to contend with.
Yeah, this is a fun hole when you first stand on that tee and look at it. You see those bunkers smack bang in the middle of the fairway. The last bunker there in the middle is called the end hole. This hole is called the end. But this green, too, is so flat, very, very difficult to read. But if you get there, pull the head cover off the driver. Remember, this is the only chance you get to play the old course.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
No, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich. Now it's that sneaky distance.
Are you kidding me?
That looked like it was in.
Could use this one. This is for par. Did the job right there. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back. There's something about a well-hit shot.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up. You can bring it in high. You can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Second shot. Good look at the green. He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Getting set now over the putt.
Just when you think you're going to make birdie, now have to really concentrate on this and at least make par.
Nothing wrong with that par putt. Frank, what are we looking at here at the famed par 3 11th at the old course?
Well, the most difficult, there is only 2 par 3s here at the old course, and this one's called high, elevated green, and you've got to fly that bunker that protects the front of the green. That's called the Strath bunker. It will really take anything on this green. You make a 2 here, you'll make a move on the field.
Early part of this back 9 and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Good round going at 6 under. Frank, how do you like the 12th hole here at St. Andrews?
Well, it's a beautiful par 4. You start to see the village of St. Andrews in the background, Eden Estuary to the right, and also decision time. If you're long enough, it's certainly worth having a crack at this par 4 with your tee shot. But if you're not a long hitter, then you've really got to worry about those 4 beautifully and well strategic positioned bunkers in the middle of the fairway.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Setting up for an approach shot here. Frank, he's cranking it and banking it. Giant drives, a boatload of birdies. What a round.
Yeah, these are the days you just dream for. We know golf's not that easy. But on a day like today, savor it and just keep going. Keep doing it.
Not a gimme, but well within his... On fire right now. 7 under par. Now to the par 4 13th, and again, Frank, it's all about...
Oh, I liked that.
Good contact, good result. I really love the caddies at St. Andrews, wisecracking old-timers. The guy hits a shot hard into a gorse bush on the left, and he turns to the caddy and says, "Is that okay?" And the caddy says, "Does it look okay?" Hit another one. Another instance, guy was stuck between two clubs. 6-iron, 7-iron, 6-iron, 7-iron, back and forth. Finally, he chose the 7-iron, hit it about 15 yards in the ground, and the caddy looked at him and said, "I guess we'll never know, laddie, will we?" He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Yeah, that's a good putt right there. From that distance, he'll settle. And he makes it for par. Frank, you can actually play this 14th hole by taking a detour to another hole on the front side. Explain.
Yeah, that's the 4th hole. The 4th hole is adjacent to the 14th, and if you're in a little bit of trouble off the tee, there's nothing wrong with playing the 14th as a zigzag style par 5, so that means the drive, longer option.
This is all feel with a lob wedge.
Yeah, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Just a little offline, so now, Frank, he's going to have to deal with a rough.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how strong he is.
Frank, anything you do differently from the rough in terms of your swing? You hinge the club a little bit more quickly?
No, normally put the ball just a little bit further back in your stance because you want the club to be going down. Down, it's got to go down through the grass, through the ball.
Birdie try up next. Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
This one has a good line. Wow, I can't believe he found the cup on that one.
Clean up on aisle 5.
Time to tee it up here at the 15th as we begin the closing stretch here at the Open Championship of the Old Course at St. Andrews.
There's a big steeple in the distance, so even when it starts to fog in a bit, if you can keep your eye on that, that's a good line off the tee. And you've got to keep it, your tee shot, just short of this sort of heather, big crop of heather down the left side. It still leaves you a lengthy second shot, but really that's the safest way to try and play this par 4 15th. Very good par 4.
Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
You can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Struggling a bit with the flat stick and a drop shot here at the 15th hole. This for him would be one drop shot. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. 16th hole is a par 4 here at the old course, Frank, with another one of those sort of funky features.
Yes, a series of 3 bunkers called the Principal's Nose, plus that out of bounds on the right. So really err on the side of caution, avoiding both the out of bounds and the Principal's Nose. Nothing wrong with going a little bit left here, but the further left you go, then it makes that second shot that much harder because you'll have to bring it across that little pop bunker in the front with the wedge.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball, and this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here.
This looks like it's heading for the bunker.
Oh, a bit unfortunate. Wasn't able to avoid the sand trap. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
Pretty good shot right there.
It's no snack, though.
That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Well, too bad. He gives one back. Frank, so many famous landmarks on this hole. The hotel on the right, you want to avoid that. The bunker on the left, and then the stone wall beyond the road.
Yeah, there's all those features is one of the reasons why no one would be allowed to design a hole like this today. It also makes it not only unique, but I think that's the greatness of the hole, is that all those problems you're very aware of. It's just, can you avoid them?
A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. Frank, can you recall a situation where before an important round, an instructor gave you one small tweak, maybe flare your left toe out, or just shift a little bit of the weight onto the back foot, where the instructor gave you that one small bit of advice and it made a huge difference?
Yeah, the list is too long, Rich, and it's normally just someone that you've trusted over the years, and we all make just little bad habits. Sometimes you're stooped over a little bit more than normal. You're not standing tall enough. The ball is too far back in your stance or too far forward. You're making a funny little move, or your grip is different. It's always the little things that add up to the big problem. Ah, nice.
Looks good. Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. From a perfect position, ready to play his next shot. Appears to be what they call a commercial play, very solid. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Third shot, looking for a good one. And he's made the green. Locked in on the read and the speed. Just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good parts.
That's a good day's work right there. Round of 67. Frank, you have to like what you saw out there today.
I certainly did. Swing is excellent right now. Stroke, there's nothing wrong with that. Really, just it's a case of getting out of your own way. I mean, the opportunities ahead now, chance to win, just they have to be so motivating.